The wind howled across the frozen Bering Sea, whipping snow into the faces of the 12-man U.S. Navy SEAL team as they low-crawled toward the Russian early warning radar station on the coast of Chukotka. It was 3:17 a.m., January. Officially, this mission did not exist. Lieutenant Commander Jake Reaper, Harlan raised a gloved fist. The team froze behind him. Through his night vision goggles he saw two Spetsnaz guards smoking beside a humming generator, their AK-12s slung carelessly. Harlan's spotter, Petty Officer Maya Chen, whispered, 2 tangos, 30 meters, no thermal coverage on the east side. Silent, Harlan mouthed. 2 suppressed shots from Chen's Mk-22 cracked the night like ice breaking. The guards dropped without a sound. They breached the fence in 30 seconds. Inside the control building, Russian technicians in sweaters hunched over glowing screens, unaware that death had already slipped past the doors. Harlan's team moved like ghosts. Flashbangs rolled under desks. Screams were cut short by knife work and 9mm subsonic rounds. In 90 seconds the radar station went blind. Then the lights went red. A klaxon roared across the base. Floodlights snapped on. A full company of Russian naval infantry was already mobilizing. Someone had tripped a hidden pressure plate. Contact rear, yelled SEAL gunner Big Mike Torres as tracer rounds stitched the snow behind them. The team sprinted for the extraction point on the frozen shoreline where a stealth Black Hawk waited, rotors turning slow and silent under experimental cryogenic mufflers. But the Russians were faster than expected. 3 BTR-90s roared out of the motor pool, 30mm cannons spitting fire. A round detonated against the radar dish, showering the SEALs in molten steel. RPG. Jen screamed. Harlan rolled, shoulder fired and at 4, and turned the lead BTR into a fireball that lit the Arctic night orange. Burning men stumbled out, screaming in Russian. The team reached the tree line just as a Russian Ka-52 attack helicopter uncloaked above them, its nose cannon whining as it spooled up. Down. Harlan roared. 30mm rounds chewed the frozen earth, throwing tree trunks into the air like matchsticks. Torres stood up with a stinger, face lit by muzzle flashes. I got this Russian bastard. The missile streaked upward. The Ka-52 tried to brake, but the stinger kissed its tail boom. The helicopter spun, slammed into the ice, and exploded in a secondary blast that cracked the frozen bay for 100 meters. But the victory was short. A Russian elite squad, Bittell, emerged from the smoke in white winter camouflage, moving with terrifying discipline. Their leader, a tall captain with a scar across his face, barked orders in calm, clipped Russian. The SEALs were down to 5 effectives now. Harlan keyed his throat mic. Razor 1, we are combat ineffective, heavy contact, request immediate danger close fire mission. Far above, a U.S. B-2 Spirit flying out of Eielson AFB in Alaska opened its bomb bay. The voice on the radio was ice cold, danger close approved. 30 seconds. The Bittell captain seemed to sense it. He pointed at Harlan and shouted something that sounded like, Živa meni vozimet. They won't take us alive. Both sides opened fire at 20 meters. Muzzles flashed white in the darkness. Men fell on both sides, blood steaming on snow. Torres took a burst to the chest and kept firing his M249 until he couldn't anymore. Jen dragged him behind a burning sled, tears freezing on her face. 10 seconds to impact. Harlan locked eyes with the Russian captain across the chaos. For one frozen heartbeat, 2 warriors from opposite ends of the earth understood each other perfectly. The captain raised his rifle in a salute that was almost respectful. Then the sky fell. A single 2,000-pound JDAM struck the center of the Russian position like the hammer of an angry god. The shockwave flattened trees and hurled bodies into the air. Harlan was thrown 20 feet, ears bleeding, vision tunneling. When he came to, the battlefield was silent except for the crackle of burning fuel and the low thump of the Black Hawk descending through the smoke. Jen hauled him up. We have to go, sir. Now. Only 3 of them made it to the helo, Harlan, Chen, and a young corpsman with half his face burned. As the Black Hawk lifted off, Harlan looked down one last time. In the middle of the burning wreckage, he saw the Russian captain still on his knees, missing an arm, staring up at the departing helicopter. The man slowly raised his remaining hand, not in surrender, but in a final, defiant gesture. Harlan returned it. Then the Arctic night swallowed them both. The mission was classified top secret for 50 years. Officially, the radar station was destroyed by an accidental munitions explosion. No Americans were ever there. No Russians ever admitted they lost an entire company in 12 minutes. But somewhere under the ice, two bloodstains, one American, one Russian, froze together forever.